Now I want to customize this. So while I think this is pretty cool, to me it's not custom enough. So here's what I'm going to do next. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this with a pattern. So instead of just having an R there, I want the R to be a pattern of something that I really like. So here I go next. I'm opening up an internet search window. So I'm going to go in and just get a Google image. It's going to be super simple. I'm going white tail buck line art. The line art's kind of an important deal. I'm going to look at the images, and my advice is to find something with a lot of black in it. Black is a color that engraves on a laser engraver. So I am just going to look for something super simple. This guy right here. I'm going to save him by right-clicking. Your computer, your Chromebook, whatever you're using might end up saving things a little bit differently. Save it any way you like. You can figure that part out. I'm going to give this guy a name. I'll call him Big Book. So I got that saved. For me, it's in my downloads folder. Remember where you're saving yours. So now I'm going to put this and I'm going to make it into a pattern in Adobe Illustrator. Alright, so I'm kind of on pause with this work for a while. I'm going to double click this hand to zoom out. Now I'm going to get that picture of that whitetail buck in there. So I'm going to place it. And I'm going to go look in my downloads folder because that's where it is for me. And here is my big buck. I'm going to unclick this link box because I want it to automatically embed. It's a new trick I showed in another video I made. And I'm going to place this here. I'm going to do the good old-fashioned image trace to it. You might have to do guess and check. I'm going to do a black and white logo because I'm confident it'll work well for this. I'm on the selection tool. I've got a buck that works. I want this buck to be a pattern that fills in this letter R for me. That's what I want. So I'm going to go over to my swatches panel. Showed you a different way to get it earlier. You can just go window and then swatches. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for myself because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this, and I've just made it basically like a color. Now I can fill with this. I'm excited about that. I'm going to go over and click on my R. It's picked, not the path, but the R. Right now it is filled with black. I'm going to click on that black color. I'm going to say fill it with this buck. Now right now it's one big buck. I want to create a pattern. So for that, I'm going to go Object, Transform, and I want to do a scale. I'm going to do a non-uniform scale. You're going to have to guess with these numbers until it looks good on your screen. I'm going to do a 20% scale. I'm going to uncheck this transform object box and just have the transform pattern box. Now in the preview you can see I've got that buck, and he is in fact starting to be repeated there. If I don't like the way it looks, I can come in and I can toy with this number, but something you should keep in mind, the smaller you go on this, the less likely it becomes that you'll actually be able to tell what it is. Like I'm looking at this right now and it could be an eagle for all I know. So it may or may not print well the smaller you go. So you make the call on that one and you can go from there. I'm going to go with the 20s. So here I go. Now I've got a pattern in there. Now I'm done with my buck.